We're in Washington, D.C. with the nation's farm broadcasters at an Issues Forum with issues of the good kind, probably. Collin Woodall, who is head of legislative affairs for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, joins us. And you've been busy since the first of the year. We talked about that we were going to get to this point where some things were going to move, and probably none better than what's happened over the last few days with trade.
Well, it's been great because we are seeing Congress finally move. They've been sitting around for most of this year, I think, trying to figure out overall strategies. Those strategies are obviously set, and they're now executing. So last week we had both the Senate Finance Committee and the House Ways and Means Committee marked up Trade Promotion Authority, TPA, which is the first step to getting that done. We are optimistic that both parties can get that done before the end of the spring, and we can move forward.
All right, so with that being said, looks like the votes are there. Will this push TPP then to approval later on? I know NCBA and some other groups, the Five-Nation Beef Alliance, really saying what the president said, what everybody said, it's time to move on.
We do believe that once TPA is put back in place, we will have probably a pretty quick pace on trying to get TPP done. And of course it's important for us, especially what it means for Japan. So we are supportive of that, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure it does get done as quickly as possible.
Other trade things, let's talk fairly close. Let's talk in North America. We're still kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop when it comes to country of origin labeling and what might happen with Canada. Are you kind of reading the tea leaves, seeing what might come, or do we just won't know until that announcement's made?
Well, to the WTO's credit, it's really been pretty quiet on their front, but we do know that somewhere on or around the 18th of May, we will get the final decision from the WTO. We anticipate that it will be the fourth decision against the United States. And so what that does, it sets us up for retaliation from Canada and Mexico. We've got to figure out how we can use that small window we will have between the decision and retaliation, try to get Congress to act and fix it.
All right, so we'll see what happens. I know some are saying, let's throw it out and start all over again. Is that a possibility? I mean, as we talk to folks in the countryside, is that really a possibility?
There's no way we can start all over. We have run the course on cool. It just doesn't work. It does not work as a mandatory government-controlled program. Now, it works under a voluntary system, and it works under branded programs. I think that's where we really need to focus our efforts, because that's something that provides a benefit to both the consumer and to the industry.
It is 2015, next year's 2016, which means all the House is up, third of the Senate, and we've got everybody wanting to be president. When's our deadline to try to get anything meaningful done?
I would tell you we have until the end of this year, the end of 2015, to really be productive. Once we come back in January, the focus is going to be on the primaries, and so that really will take a lot of the attention out of congressional action. So I'm afraid if we want anything big, trade, tax reform, transportation reauthorization, it has to happen in 2015.
What about water? We hear that final rule is put in there, but there may not be. I mean, basically it's coming in as a final rule, so no time for discussion, and I assume it will have to be run through the courts.
That's what we anticipate as well. That's unless Congress can act and stop this. And Congress took the first action last week by having the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee pass out their legislation that will stop this process, send that rule back to EPA and tell them to start over with input from industry groups. We are hopeful that we can get that done before OMB makes any actions to publish this final rule. But the race is on. Who can act first, Congress or OMB?
All right. Thanks, Collin.
Hey, thank you, Ken.
Collin Woodall, the Director of Legislative Affairs for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. That's the Ag View from D.C. I'm Ken Rogers.